Hey guys, it is June the 17th, I think, or the 18th. I'm not quite sure. It's Friday. I think it's the 17th. I made a video earlier today, but I wanted to redo it because I kind of sound like an idiot on it. Like I have an idea. I was kind of rambling on a long time before the idea. Because they've been hitting me pretty hard in the midsection. In my condo, in my new condo. I have a lot of bizarre kind of patrolling or stalking in the condo. It was kind of set up immediately when I got there, which is really weird. And one of the guys, he just I walked out of my condo, and he was like walking by, my room basically, and I have a doorway, right by where I sleep. And so he walked by and he was like stomping his feet. He's wearing flip-flops and stomping his feet, and just, I've seen him a bunch of times. So it's just the same thing. It's not too bad, but I'm feeling really tired because whatever they're doing, they're hitting my midsection, in my back, and in my front, and it's making me real tired. I feel like I just gotta, go lay down. And I went to have lunch with my mom today. We were talking about keeping up with the charity, and I'm going to stay till the end of the fiscal quarter and help her out. But I really do want to focus on this issue because I really am hurting so bad. I kind of understand the scope of how dangerous it is and how many innocent lives are being hurt. So I've told her that, and the thing is, I feel I kind of it's really been hurting lately, to where I know we feel all the time sometimes we feel like we're gonna die because it hurts so bad. And I was sitting there talking to my mom, just thinking, I wanted to tell her, I'm really hurting really bad. And I don't think she watches these videos, so I think I'm safe, but I can't put that on her plate. She's trying to hold the family together. My dad's trying to hold his part of the family together. So I just told her, I told her about this idea, and I told her, I'd support her and back her up, that I loved her, that it is going on. And we talked about it a little bit, and she, at this point, she's the greatest person alive, and she wants to help anybody, but she does not understand the severity of the torture. So there's no use. It's kind of at a point where she doesn't understand the severity of it. She kind of wants me to get off of it, and go and live my life like everybody who's not a target individual. So it's a little bit hard, and I just spoke to her kind of on her level and about what I need to do. And that's kind of a good way that you can talk to your parents or your friends, just saying this is an important issue. You don't, I mean, the whole time in my head I was like, I want to tell my mom that I'm dying, I need help, I need medical help, but I didn't say it. She doesn't need that on her plate. I can deal with it. I know I can get through this. I'm strong. Y'all are strong. I know that. It really does. It's hurting in around my kidneys, from the place where my chest starts in the back on down, and I feel feverish. But I took a lot of Tylenol yesterday, and it could be something with that. They could be focusing directed energy beam on my liver or something like that, where the Tylenol is processed or something like that. So I'm going to stop taking Tylenol. I'm going to go back to taking my Smarty Pants vitamins and go get my grounding, because, when I take my Smarty Pants vitamins, I feel a lot better. I stopped taking them for about 2 weeks, and I felt worse. And I'm going to also say this before I tell you all my idea, and I'll get into that in a second. So, what was I just about to say? Oh yeah, and I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let it lie. I did get my Q-Wave Defender that I had to replace. I put it on yesterday, and after about 3 hours, I felt a lot better. It added to the field around my body. The stuff does work. It doesn't work I don't think it works at a level, that we really need. I saw something on the internet. It does work, though. I mean, it does positively work. I wouldn't tell any other TI. Those Altera whole house plugs work. The Q-Wave personal defenders work. Copper mesh sheeting, if you put that over you or make a little Faraday cage, those things do work. They're not a cure-all, but I still do believe in those things. I watched a video where they have a lot of stuff, like, I guess if somebody has this remote station, I watched it today, it was somebody made one video, and I guess I need to like that video. I'm not quite sure if they're a target individual, if they're just interested in this stuff, or what, but they were looking at a site on the internet where you can get RF amplifiers for electromagnetic warfare. It's at EW. So you can actually get stuff online, which is, RF amplifiers for it. So that would make a lot of sense, if my attacker, was getting more weapons and contacts and stuff like that, but he was amplifying this, and that's why I get defenses, and it would, totally correct it, where I wouldn't hear any V2K or anything else, and then he gets a bunch of amplifiers to amp it up, to amp up the power of the signal, puts power to it or whatever. But it was somebody on the internet, somebody on YouTube, who was showing how you could get EW amplifiers, and it's for this stuff that they're using on us. So I don't know what to think about that, but it makes a lot of sense about why they would be able to pump this signal up and hurt me more, even though I do have good defenses. So I want to go ahead and get to my idea. I want to preface it by saying, the idea has probably been put out there, and it's been done. There was a protest in Washington in October, on October 3rd. I think they gave people about a month to know about it. They gave people about a month, head start so they could get out there. So my idea, I want to tell y'all, and I'm sure that this has been thought of before, but my idea is really the timetable on which we would do it. I think that we should do like what Martin Luther King did. We should have a million TI march, in Washington, and do a peaceful campaign in Washington. But we should, and it could be worldwide TIs, but give people half a year to a year to get ready to go there. So like, give them I think half a year would be a good amount of time. You guys comment below. And, I want to get together with my TI friends, on Facebook and on the conference calls, and go to the leaders of the TI community and bring this to them. Because my idea, I'm sure they've thought of it before, but it seems like we're in, we're in a climate now where it's like, the New York Times article, the hit piece is out, and the hit piece came out, and it's like, so somebody's kind of worried that, that things are the public's gonna become more aware about this. So I think now would be the time to really strike while the iron's hot, but give it a long time period. And they did this in October. A lot of TIs showed up at the White House. They gave them a month, and Pete Santilli covered it. And it was successful. It got coverage on the radio show. It got us kind of out there. But my idea would be like, and there can be variations of this, in 6 months' time, half a year or a year, y'all comment on that, and I'm going to talk to a lot of people, but I want to throw it out there so people can spitball, and I'm going to, tomorrow night is the big PAX conference call, formerly, I guess, FFCHS. I'm not sure how that works, how it switched over, but the big TI organization where we have a conference call with like 250 people on it, or 300 people, and I'm going to bring that to the table tomorrow night, on the conference call. My idea is kind of like, I know they've probably thought about this before, but just do it exactly like Martin Luther King did. Get a million TI march on Washington, on the Washington Monument, and we walk maybe from the big lake, or whatever that is, to the actual monument, and then have some speeches, have some people talk and stuff like that, and plan it over half a year. And in the meantime, I'm not saying like that would be the only thing. In the meantime, we wouldn't be sitting on our hands. We'd still be making videos. Humanity Warriors would be doing their thing in Los Angeles. Hopefully other people would be taking activism steps in their own cities and states. All that stuff. David Boyd on his walk. I saw another guy who He belongs to Humanity Warriors. He's doing a cross-country trip in his car for TIs, and that's a great idea. If you see somebody else doing it, do it too, or join them. Either way, it's just more awareness out there. But this is kind of my idea. I want y'all to give me feedback on it. I don't know. It's just like, I know we've thought about this, and it would be a worldwide TI gathering, and either people from other countries like India, Russia, China, the UK, Australia. They could either come to that march, or they could do it in the monuments in their countries. But y'all tell me what you think, and let's throw this around. I want to throw the idea around, and I want other TIs to kind of grab this and maybe make it better, and think a little bit better on it. But I think we're at a time now. The New York Times article came out, and one of my other TI friends, he contacted me, he has information that actually was very falsified, and the lady had way more information on organized stalking. So it was definitely propaganda, and she did it on purpose, or whoever wrote the article, he or she. I'm not quite sure. But it was a hit piece. Timothy, he's been hit pretty hard, but he's a handsome guy. He's been knocked. He's been knocked down by this stuff, but they did the picture of him was very horrible. It was in the shadows, and I think he would even attest to that. His eyes almost look black. And I think these photographers, they probably follow this reporter, and he did a great job on the interview. It's good. The article is good because somebody was saying any publicity is good publicity, and that's true, because there's backlash from it. People are talking about it. They're trying to get some kind of propaganda out there, but Americans are special people. We are. So it's propaganda doesn't really work. People look into stuff. There's a lot of researchers and critical thinkers. So, a lot of this stuff, it's ripe. It's ripe, and I told him, he was thinking about, well, I guess I don't want to talk about exactly what he's talking about. But I was saying, yeah, he had an idea about that, and I was like, yeah, it's good to be aggressive, remain nonviolent. We've got to remain nonviolent. We've got to do peaceful activism. Signs. Make sure the police are okay with what we're doing. Get the permits. Maybe have food out there, so other people, not just TIs. Maybe TIs can bring their family along. But my idea is not really. I think this has probably been thought of before. But my idea is more of the timeline that we would do it by. We would give it a long period of time, half a year to prepare and to do other things, around it, preparing for it. Half a year to let news agencies in Washington know what we're doing and when, and also our local cities and states, their local media, let them know. We would have a lot of time to build up things on social media, Facebook, YouTube. Everybody, all TIs making videos could talk about it on the conference calls, and every conference call, people could build it up for in a half year's time. I'm feeling some urgency here, not just because I'm really hurting. That is part of it, and I think if I'm really hurting like this, and then I see other TIs and they're really suffering, and the thing that makes me know that is because I hear a lot of TIs, and I totally agree with them. They'll say things like, I don't care if I die, I will go down fighting this, and I'm kind of at that point. I'm like, I don't care if I die. I just want to go out, helping people, helping this situation, and nor do I think I'm gonna die tonight or whatever. And because these people, they do want you to commit suicide or whatever. I'm not going to do that. I'll state it now clearly. I will never do that. Very clearly, I will never ever do that. It is not in my beliefs or my DNA to do that. I will go down fighting, and I've heard other TIs say this kind of exact same thing, and I'm just like, when I hear them say that, I'm like, man, I'm with you, I'm hurting too, and I hate seeing them like that. I see a lot of people really, really hurting, and this is mine direction.